1 tablespoon of blackstrap molasses. 1 gallon of water. 7 days. That is the entire recipe. By the end of those 7 days, the plants you have been watering with this single liquid will show deeper green leaves, thicker stems, heavier flowering, and root systems that have multiplied beneath the soil while you were not looking. The cost is under $1 per gallon of finished fertilizer. The ingredient is sitting on grocery store shelves across America right now in the baking aisle, between the brown sugar and the corn syrup, almost never touched by gardeners and almost never mentioned in any gardening video on the internet. And yet, peer-reviewed studies from Clemson University, the University of Szeged in Hungary, and research published in the Open Journal of Ecology have all documented the same finding. Blackstrap molasses, applied to soil at the correct dilution, triggers a microbial population explosion that increases plant growth, root development, nutrient availability, and disease resistance across every category of crop tested. The science is published. The mineral chemistry is even patented in the United States Patent Office under document number 10,464,857, which formally recognizes molasses as a chelating agent capable of unlocking nutrients that ordinary soil chemistry cannot release. And while the global fertilizer industry generates over $200 billion in annual revenue selling synthetic products in plastic bags, the most effective microbial fertilizer ever derived from a kitchen pantry costs less than a candy bar and works within days. But before I show you the exact 7-day recipe that turns 1 tablespoon of an almost forgotten kitchen ingredient into the fastest microbial boost your soil has ever received, you need to understand something almost every gardening channel on the internet gets completely wrong. Most molasses tutorials tell you to pour the liquid directly on your plants and expect miracles. That version of the technique fails almost every time. The real method is built around a specific dilution, a specific timing, and one critical understanding about how microbial fertilizers actually work. Stay with me, because once you understand the science, you will never again look at the brown bottle of blackstrap molasses on the grocery shelf the same way. The story does not start in a laboratory. It starts in the sugarcane fields of the Caribbean and the Mississippi Delta in the 1800s. When sugar cane juice is boiled down repeatedly to extract crystallized sugar, each successive boiling produces a darker, thicker, more mineral-rich syrup. The first boiling produces light molasses. That is the version most Americans put on pancakes. The second boiling produces dark molasses, and the third and final boiling produces blackstrap molasses, the almost bitter, dense, mineral-loaded syrup that is left after every gram of usable sugar has been pulled out. For the sugar industry, blackstrap is a waste product. For farmers who paid attention, blackstrap is liquid gold. Caribbean and Southern American farmers had figured out by the late 1800s that the same thick, dark, mineral-packed syrup that the sugar refineries were trying to get rid of was the most powerful soil amendment they could put their hands on. The technique passed from farmer to farmer across multiple generations. Then synthetic fertilizer arrived in the 1950s, and the entire tradition was buried within a single generation. Here is the part nobody talks about. Blackstrap molasses is not just sugar. By weight, blackstrap contains roughly 400 milligrams of potassium per tablespoon, 40 milligrams of calcium, 48 milligrams of magnesium, almost 1 milligram of iron, plus measurable amounts of manganese, copper, selenium, sulfur, and phosphate. Those are not trace amounts. Those are concentrations that compete directly with the mineral profile of commercial fertilizers. 1 tablespoon of blackstrap molasses delivers more bioavailable potassium than several tablespoons of most synthetic potassium products on garden center shelves, and it delivers that potassium in a form that plant roots can absorb immediately, alongside a long list of trace minerals that no synthetic product even includes. Here is the shareable detail that should change how you think about this entire ingredient. Every time the sugar industry boils sugarcane juice to extract crystallized sugar, the process pulls the pure sugars out of the cane and concentrates everything else into what becomes blackstrap molasses. The sugar leaves, the minerals stay. By the time the third and final boiling is complete, what is left in the bottom of the pot is essentially the entire mineral profile of the sugarcane plant, concentrated into a thick black syrup. Sugarcane is a tropical grass that grows 15 to 20 feet tall. It pulls minerals from deep subsoil layers that most garden plants cannot reach. When you buy a bottle of blackstrap molasses, you are buying the concentrated mineral extract of a plant species that mines nutrients from far below normal root depth. That is why the trace mineral profile is so unusually complete. It is not a manufactured product, it is the natural mineral concentrate of one of the most aggressive nutrient mining plants on Earth. Now stay with me, because the science behind why this works in your garden goes deeper than just the mineral content. The real magic of blackstrap molasses is what it does to the microorganisms already living in your soil. A single tablespoon of molasses dissolved in a gallon of water and poured onto a garden bed acts like ringing a dinner bell for every beneficial microbe in the top 6 inches of soil. Bacteria, yeasts, beneficial fungi, and protozoa all recognize the sugars and minerals in molasses as a feast, and they respond by multiplying explosively within hours. Soil bacteria can divide every 20 minutes under ideal conditions. Within a single day of a molasses application, the microbial population in the root zone can triple. Within 3 days, the population can reach levels 6 to 10 times higher than untreated soil. Within a week, the activity peaks. A study published in the Open Journal of Ecology documented that blackstrap molasses, combined with organic matter already present in soil, increased microbial activity that lasted 4 to 5 weeks from a single application. What does that microbial explosion actually do for your plants? 3 things at the same time. First, the multiplying microbes break down organic matter already in your soil into plant-available nutrients far faster than soil could do on its own. Second, the lactic acids and other compounds the microbes produce as byproducts chelate minerals that were chemically locked in clay particles, releasing them into solution where roots can absorb them. The United States Patent Office formally recognized this chelating capability in patent number 10,464,857. Third, the beneficial microbial population outcompetes harmful pathogenic bacteria and fungi for resources, creating a soil environment where plant diseases struggle to establish. A separate Clemson University research project documented that molasses applications significantly increased root weight compared to untreated control plots. More roots, more nutrient uptake, healthier plants. So why is none of this taught in any extension office, on any major gardening website, or in any commercial fertilizer advertisement? The answer is the same answer that explains every buried gardening technique. The global synthetic fertilizer industry is worth over $200 billion annually. Every dollar of that revenue depends on home gardeners continuing to buy plastic bags of synthetic chemicals each spring. Blackstrap molasses is a byproduct of the sugar refining industry. It is produced in massive quantities. It is sold for under $5 per quart at almost any grocery store. There is no patent. There is no proprietary formulation. There is no recurring revenue model that the chemical industry can build around it. The economics are exactly backward from how the fertilizer business needs to function. So the most powerful microbial fertilizer ever derived from a kitchen ingredient sits in the baking aisle, ignored by the gardeners who walk past it every week. The exception to this silence comes from organic agricultural research institutions and a small number of agricultural extension programs that operate outside the influence of the chemical industry. Texas A&M University's Agricultural Extension Service has quietly recommended molasses applications for decades, particularly for pasture management and organic crop production. The Rodale Institute, the oldest organic farming research organization in the United States, has documented molasses applications in its long-term soil health trials. Major organic farming operations across California and the Pacific Northwest use molasses as a standard component of their irrigation systems. The technique exists, it works, It is simply invisible to the average American gardener because the marketing money flows toward the products that generate margin, and molasses generates almost none. Now, I need to be honest with you about something, because credibility matters more than hype. There are skeptical voices in horticulture, and some of them are right. Molasses applied to bare, lifeless soil that has no organic matter to support the microbial bloom will produce a short-lived population spike that crashes within a couple of weeks when the sugar runs out. The skeptics correctly point out that molasses alone is not a complete fertilizer and cannot replace healthy soil. They are correct on that narrow point. But the skeptics tested the wrong scenario. Molasses applied to soil that already has compost, organic matter, or living plant roots feeding it produces a microbial activity boost lasting 4 to 5 weeks, as documented in the published research. The trick is not to think of molasses as a fertilizer at all. Think of it as a microbial accelerator that supercharges whatever biological foundation already exists in your soil. Used correctly, it is one of the most powerful tools in the entire kitchen pantry. Used incorrectly on dead, bare soil, it does little. The recipe I am about to show you is the correct application. Now we get to the part you came here for, the exact recipe. Pay attention to the details, because the dilution ratio and the timing are what separate a working application from a wasted bottle of molasses. You will need 1 tablespoon of blackstrap molasses, not regular table molasses, not light molasses, not corn syrup, specifically the dark, thick, almost bitter blackstrap version produced from the final boiling of sugarcane. Any grocery store carries it in the baking aisle. The brand does not matter. The cheapest option works exactly as well as the premium organic option. Just make sure the label says blackstrap. If it says light or fancy or first molasses, leave it on the shelf. You will need 1 gallon of water. Filtered water is best. Rainwater is excellent. If your tap water is heavily chlorinated, let it sit out in an open container for 24 hours before mixing, because the chlorine will kill the microorganisms in the soil that you are trying to feed. Optional but recommended, you can add 1 teaspoon of dish soap to the mix. The soap is not for the soil. The soap is a surfactant that helps the liquid spread evenly across the soil surface and penetrate quickly to the root zone instead of beading up and running off. Any plain liquid soap works. Avoid antibacterial or fragrance-heavy detergents. Here is the assembly. Take a 1-gallon container. A plastic watering can works. A clean milk jug works. A 5-gallon bucket works if you are mixing a larger batch. Add the tablespoon of molasses to the bottom of the container. Molasses is thick and sticky, so it will not dissolve in cold water. Add a small amount of hot or warm water first, just enough to dissolve the molasses completely, and stir vigorously until you have a smooth, dark liquid with no clumps. Now fill the rest of the container with cool water to reach 1 full gallon. Add the optional soap. Stir gently to combine. The mixture is now ready to use immediately. Apply the diluted solution as a soil drench around the base of any plant. Soak the root zone thoroughly. Do not splash the liquid onto leaves because the sugar attracts ants and other insects to the foliage. The application is for the soil, not the plant tissue. 1 gallon of finished solution treats between 12 and 20 mature plants depending on size. For seedlings and houseplants, you can use a smaller diluted batch by mixing 1 teaspoon of molasses per quart of water for more delicate root systems. The application timing matters as much as the recipe. Apply the molasses solution once every 2 to 3 weeks during the active growing season. Do not apply more often than that, because the soil microbial population needs time to stabilize between feedings. Repeated heavy applications can cause the microbial boom and bust cycle that the skeptics correctly warned about. Apply in the early morning or the late evening, when soil temperatures are cooler and the microbes can establish without immediately drying out. Avoid midday applications on hot summer days. After applying the solution, Water lightly with plain water to push the molasses deeper into the root zone and prevent the surface from attracting flies. Within 72 hours of the first application, you will see the first signs that the microbial work has begun. The soil surface around treated plants will look darker and slightly damper than untreated areas. Earthworms will start appearing closer to the surface within a week. By day 7, the visible plant response begins. Leaves deepen in color, stems thicken, new growth pushes out from leaf axils where none was forming before. Within 2 weeks, the difference between treated and untreated plants is visible from across the garden. This recipe works on every plant you grow. On vegetables, it accelerates flowering and fruit set in tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, cucumbers, squash, beans, and brassicas. On leafy crops like lettuce, spinach, kale, and chard, the trace minerals produce darker, more flavorful leaves. On herbs like basil, rosemary, mint, oregano, and thyme, the application produces denser foliage and more concentrated essential oils. On fruit trees and berry bushes, the microbial activity supports both flower set and fruit sugar development. On flowering ornamentals like roses, geraniums, marigolds, and dahlias, the application produces more flowers and longer bloom periods. On indoor houseplants, a heavily diluted version applied monthly strengthens root development and prevents the soil-borne fungal problems that kill more houseplants than any other single cause. The same simple recipe works across every category of plant, because what it activates is universal across the plant kingdom. Healthy soil biology benefits everything that grows in soil. There is an advanced version of this recipe that is worth flagging if you want to take the technique even further. Combine the tablespoon of blackstrap molasses with 1 teaspoon of active dry baker's yeast in your gallon of water. The yeast adds a second microorganism population to the soil, multiplying the biological effect. The yeast also produces small amounts of natural plant growth hormones, including auxins and cytokinins, that directly stimulate root development. This combination of molasses plus yeast is the closest you can get to a complete soil biological inoculant from kitchen ingredients alone. The molasses feeds the yeast and the existing soil microbes simultaneously, producing a microbial explosion within hours that no single ingredient can match. There are a few honest cautions worth flagging. Do not apply this solution to the leaves of plants. The sugar content will attract ants, fungal infections, and unwanted insects to the foliage. Apply only as a soil drench. Do not exceed the recommended dilution rate. More molasses is not better. The 1 tablespoon per gallon ratio is calibrated to produce the optimal microbial response without overwhelming the soil ecosystem. Do not apply to soils with no organic matter, because the microbial bloom will be short-lived and crash quickly. The technique works best when there is compost, mulch, plant debris, or living plant roots already feeding the soil biology that the molasses is going to amplify. Store any unused mixed solution for no longer than 24 hours. The microbes that begin growing in the diluted mixture will deplete the sugars quickly and the solution loses effectiveness. The next time you walk past the baking aisle at the grocery store, do not pass the bottle of blackstrap molasses. For under $5, you are holding enough microbial fertilizer concentrate to feed every plant in your garden for an entire season. The sugarcane farmers in the Caribbean knew this in the 1800s. The university researchers documented it in peer-reviewed journals. The patent office formally recognized the chelating chemistry. The only people who have not been told are the gardeners who walk past the shelf every week, on their way to spend $40 on a bag of synthetic fertilizer that does less than the candy bar-priced bottle of dark syrup they ignored. The harvest begins now.